Let's finish off looking at how the internet did react yesterday, starting off with DR Sports saying, why are Spurs so much better in the second half? 12th in the ranking for first half games with 43 points. 4th in the ranking for second half games with 66 points. I mean, this is something that we've noticed all season. It's a clear issue with Spurs where we just can't seem to lay a glove on any team when we in the first halves. In the second halves, we come out firing and we start to create chance after chance.
I think it's been much more of a problem in 2024 than it was earlier in the season. Although there were points earlier in the season, there was also a problem. But I would say in the first half of the season, the problem was the opposite. We kept taking the lead in the first half, and we wouldn't be able to keep it up, and we kept giving it away in the second half. Now the problem is very much flipped, and especially in the last 8 games, we've been absolutely horrific in the first half, and the game's been gone by the time we try to get back into it late in the game. So that's a big issue for me about what is going on, why we're starting games in the manner we are, and why we leave it so late to try and turn it around and play some football. It's really confusing. I can't really understand why it keeps happening and why we keep coming out in the same way. And what's concerning is, I don't know what Ange is telling them or how we're trying to get out of this situation, because the same thing keeps happening every week. And we even had a 2-week break, and then we were 3-0 down after half an hour against Arsenal, despite, I know we probably didn't deserve to be, but we were. So it's like, how long does he need with them to get it right? Yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine, but I do think that things will become a lot clearer by, let's say, next December, If we start the season like we've ended this season, then I think Ange will go. I really believe that. Next up, Hotspur related, saying Tottenham captain Heung-min Son is the first player in Premier League history to score in 4 consecutive away games at Anfield.
Well, and that's not a mean feat, considering I think Aguero never scored a goal at Anfield, did he?
He never scored a goal.
Yeah,
no.
It's hard. It's a hard place to go. So fair play, Sonny. He's always been a player who always gives Liverpool trouble, and so it proved yet again.
Talking THFC says possibly the most important little moment from yesterday. This was Ange to the away fans yesterday. Did you see this when?
I did. Away end? I do wonder what he's trying to say.
I think he's trying to say keep belief.
Yeah, something. I think basically to that effect. What he's pointing to the badge essentially.
Yeah.
Well, what was it like?
Or the heart.
The heart. Play with your heart.
He's not saying play with your heart. I just think he's saying to the fans, because apparently the away fans were brilliant yesterday.
We didn't stop singing. Essentially. Even
so,
4-0 down.
So I think he's showing his appreciation for that.
Yeah, fair play to Ange. And look, I do think and I know there were some boos at half time, which at 2-0 down and the way we played is not that shocking. But and I'm not saying any of the people in the away end were happy with how we played, but. At least there weren't any people thinking Ange out or chanting Ange out, anything like that. There was no toxicity towards Ange, is what I would say.
Was there any towards the board and Levy?
No, not really.
Because there was at Chelsea.
There was no chance anyway.
Fair play. So what was the toxicity? Was there any toxicity?
I wouldn't call it toxicity. It was actually frustration and anger at how we were playing and how some players were just standing around. So there was definitely some shouting. But I don't think there was much, not between the fans, I would say.
Was the Ange Postecoglou song sung?
Was it sung? I think once. It wasn't like a constant thing.
It is, because at the beginning of the season we were singing it non-stop throughout the games, and it has been kind of slowing down throughout the season.
Yeah, it was more Spurs songs rather than Ange,
Sarah YT did not expect this from Ange. This is just another clip of Ange and the away fans just shot from the away end. Next up, Invert the Wing says Tottenham have now lost 5 out of 7 games. Destiny Udogie has not started this season. Worse loss percentage than both Romero and Van de Ven. That's quite amazing, isn't it? Our loss percentage is higher without Destiny Udogie than without Romero and Van de Ven.
It is a smaller sample size, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But look, he is. I do think he's quite crucial to how he played, to be honest. Not just off the ball, but on the ball as well, because of his ability to drive forward with his physicality. But if your whole system is dependent on one player, and especially that's a left back, that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying it though with Mickey van der Ven, haven't we? How reliant and over-reliant we are on Mickey van der Ven. We haven't really talked about Destiny Udogie in that aspect. But I mean, if Destiny Udogie plays yesterday, I don't think we win.
No, I don't think so either.
Tom Jenkins says, anyone else think Richarlison was about to do the most Richarlison thing ever, but he was just going to get the ball? And I was actually saying that on the watch log. I was like, is he actually going to celebrate now?
Do the proof, yeah.
I thought that's what he was going to do, and then he went and picked up the ball. I was like, all right, thank God for that.
Yeah.
Did you think in the away end that he was going to celebrate?
Is he celebrating? Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, is he celebrating?
Football on TNT Sports says Spurs picked up 26 points in the first 10 games of the season. Since then, they have won just 32 points in the following 24 games.
Wow.
That is quite a stat.
So only 6 more points in 14 more games.
Yeah.
That's Look, let's not get it twisted here. I think we have to accept it. We have collapsed. Absolutely collapsed. Like, I think at one point it was like, okay, it's inconsistent form, which is fine, which is what you expect. But this is an inconsistency. This is a collapse we've had recently. There's no getting away from that.
Yeah, agreed. Carly T next up. Just if you go scroll down from this one, Carly T says certain teams would have been given a penalty. And this is Joe Gomez on Brennan Johnson with the high foot.
Yeah, let me see here. I think there is contact there. And could Johnson have been braver, though, maybe? I think he goes in with it. He tries to head it.
Clatters into the post.
Yeah, I do think it's a penalty. I mean, if high foot is an offence and he puts his head there, he's going to win the header, and he's, kicked. He's put his foot there, and he's made contact with Johnson's head. I don't see why that's not a penalty.
Statmuse FC, Son versus the Big Six in the Premier League. 25 goals, 8 assists. Only 2 players had more goals and more assists versus the Big Six since he made his debut in 15-16, and that is Mo Salah and Sadio Mane.
Yeah, and for all people saying, Son, conversations to be had about him, I just think it's far too early to be saying anything like that. He's such a great player still, and I thought he had a great game those last 20 minutes. I thought it was really, really good.
He did. He was just very poor for the first 60.
And also a big game player.
Yeah. Absolutely,
that's which is a good point. Like that tweet makes. Like, he does always usually perform in these big games.
He does. Next tweet says Heung-min Son is now 1 goal away from making it into the top 20 all-time scorers in Premier League history.
Top 20, very impressive. Let's hope and where's he going to end up? I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know how many goals, because there's probably very tight. Like a goal probably puts you, quite a considerable amount up that top 20, so we'll see. Cardio Kulusevski versus Liverpool. 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 shots, 0 chance created, 0 successful dribbles, 0 accurate crosses, and he has 1 goal in his last 18 matches.
Yeah, look, he actually, in terms of goal scoring, he actually started the season quite well, because I think he got 6 in his first 12 or something like that, or 15. Because he's on 6 goals this season, or 5, and it's really dried up. So it's hard to explain why. I thought he started the season really well, to be honest, but he
has dropped off massively.
Yeah, he has.
Massively.
He has. But then you could say the whole team has, to be honest. Is in a big drop off in a lot of players. We have collapsed as a team.
Yeah.
And it's hard to put your finger on why that's happened.
Lana says, imagine missing the game today and this is the first thing you see. And she's quote retweeted a tweet saying, Skip is our best fit left back starting for the rest of the season. Can you imagine? You just completely miss the game and you just see what Skip has had a worldie at left back.
He has, and he deserves credit for it. I think I want to see more of him. But again, my point is, it doesn't necessarily have to be Skip. I just think we should be using midfielders in those positions a lot more. Yeah,
I get what you're saying, but seeing as Skip has shown that in the last game, then he deserves to start the next game. Live score just telling us about the Sonny at Anfield stat again. Invert the Wing says this is just a 9 versus 11. Emerson Royale is a League 2 player, and playing Son without a creative midfielder to find the runs against such a high line just leave him completely isolated. But of course, Son will get the blame. No one can find his runs.
I think that's a good point. That doesn't excuse Son how he's not able to get involved in the game, but I also don't think the selection helps Son at all. And I think,
but even when Son has been playing in the number 9 and having stinkers, like the attacking midfielders haven't been doing their job properly.
Correct.
In terms of using his runs and finding him in the key areas. So,
but I also feel like teams have adjusted. We have more possession, right, against these top teams, which is them allowing us to have more possession, and it's because they're dropping a bit deeper and not allowing him to have that space to run into, and that may also make him less effective as well.
Yeah. Spot on. City Chief says Tottenham are on a 4-match losing streak for the first time in 20 years since 2004. Who was our manager? Was it David Pleat?
Did we not lose 4 in a row early in the season?
No, we lost 4 in 3.
I thought it was
we
5,
drew
4
with
and
Man
5.
City.
I thought it was 4 and 5.
I thought it was 4 and 3. I'll check this. I'll check it now, but because we drew with Man City, I think in between.
We did, but I thought that was the 5th game. I might be wrong. No, you're right.
We lost 3 in a row, drew with Man City, then lost to West Ham.
Right, okay, fair enough. That last minute Decky goal makes the tweet correct.
Yeah. The tweet says Spurs were on a 4-match losing streak for the first time in 20 years. And this is what team is going to turn up against Man City at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
To be fair, I don't blame City fans for thinking that.
You know what, though? Like, I do have a silly feeling, a stupid feeling that we're going to do something against Man City.
I love it. The Spurs fans have got to, like, we're super concerned now we might actually get a result against City. Like, really, like, we're like a game of sleepless nights. Oh my God, I just had a nightmare. We beat City. Like, I have a nightmare now.
We just got to pray. We just got to pray that Man U do the job for us this weekend.
Like, usually when you go like to a ground or something and like we're playing like a top team and everyone's like shitting it, like, oh, we're gonna get battered today. And we're gonna go to that team and go like, oh God, I think we might win today. Oh my
especially
God.
Especially off the back of 4 defeats as well.
Yeah, I'm shitting it. We might win.
Ralphie Penman says, can we play Ange, mate? Para na balio, straight to the first 11.
Yeah, look, to be fair, he does deserve a bit of criticism for that. Like, why do you keep playing Emerson and then these players are just not getting a look in? I understand that, but I do like how that's. I do like that meme. That's quite funny.
Yeah, and this one's not actually from the game, but I will give it to you anyway. But Heung-min Son did play his 300th Premier League game, which would move him outright 3rd amongst Spurs' leading appearance makers in the competition, behind only Hugo and Harry Kane. And it's mad to think he's only 17 appearances now behind Harry Kane, Premier League.
Wow. Is that 17? No. What? Behind? Yeah. That's not a lot.
That's mad, isn't it?
That is mad to think about, because Kane was at Spurs, especially at least one whole season before that.
I guess it makes sense then.
Well, it does make sense then, I guess.
Did we sign Son in Kane's second full season? Is that what it was?
Because we signed him in 2015.
I thought it was a couple.
Well, Kane's breakout season was in 2014 under Poch, and then we signed Son in 2015. But in that first season, Son was very much in and out of the team, wasn't he?
So yeah, he was. You do envisage he will beat Kane. Do you think he can beat Lloris?
Yeah, I think so. Is this just Premier League?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So when it's all said and done,
in the next 2 seasons,
when it's all said and done, Heung-min Son could be Tottenham's highest ever appearance maker in the Premier League. Mm-hmm. If he does get a trophy behind his name as well, will he be a bigger legend than Harry Kane?
If he gets a trophy, yeah, what? Of course.
But Harry Kane is our leading top goal scorer of all time.
Yeah, but if Son captains us to a trophy and is our leading appearance maker, and as well will be one of the top goal scorers, you have to say it'd be a big. He's the one who stayed as well, so you have to.
We're going to have to paint over that mural and put Sonny on there.
Exactly.
But yeah, that is all we have today for Reacts. I want to say a thank you for all of you guys for sticking with us today.